beautiful weekend. A time where I can indulge in various cuisines, go outside with my friends, or just have a good old gaming session. And what do I do on this wonderful Sunday? Oh, watching terrible movies. Well, since it's October, let's spice things up with some spooky movies. Here I selected IMDb's top 47 worst movies, from the bad but somewhat good to watch movies, all the way to the movies that I will definitely waste my time if I even try watching it. And now I shall allow RNGesus to select the movie I shall be criticizing today. Well, here we go. Wow, I can't wait to watch House of the Dead. Alright, let's get going then. For some backstory, House of the Dead is a film adaptation of the video game House of the Dead, well, same name, horror shooter game that I used to see all the time when I enter any arcade in Singapore. So if the game is peaking massive popularity during the 90s, how well can the film illustrate the beauty of this beloved video game franchise? Oh wait, I forgot I was watching the worst horror movies ever. With a 2.1 on IMDb, 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 15 out of 100 on Metacritic, and a director that doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, how terrible could this film adaptation be? With only 2 minutes into the film, which is literally right after the opening credits, we're presented with some shameless advertising. Like, come on, are you telling me that Sega is backing up this movie as a certified intriguing series, while it's ranked as one of the worst horror movies ever? Well, we shall see then. Here we are introduced to the 5 major characters: Simon, Greg, Alicia, Karma, and Cynthia. Desperate to join the party, Simon attempts to bribe Kirk, which is the captain of the ship, as well as Salish, the man in the yellow coat. We're already bombarded with at least 7 characters, so I wonder how the director, Weibo, will use these characters within the story. As Simon shows the map of the island, the 2 men reply in disgust and fear. Yeah, here we also get to see the beauty of the many character dialogues that we'll be witnessing throughout the movie.
Forget it. That means stop talking, start walking.
Why?
Why? Why? Why? They always ask why.
You know what they call this island? Isla del Muerte.
Muerte. That's Spanish for death. In case you don't speak Mexican.
Oh my god. Salah's expression. It's so emotionless. Also, Isla de Muerte is giving me some Jurassic Park vibes. Well, anyways, Simon proceeds to pay double and even extra for the captain to avoid a police officer. Yes, I'm talking. Coincidentally, there is a police officer in this movie that suddenly told people to stay in the port. Meanwhile, in the island, there are 2 familiar lovebirds, which is seen in the beginning of the movie, that decide to isolate themselves from the rest of the people in the party. With this woman, Joanna, going for a swim, while Matt, drinker, goes for a drink. Now I wonder where this plot hole might lead to. Of course, Matt got drunk and got taken away by suspicious beings while the girl got very distracted. But upon realization, Johanna, the woman, decides to search for Matt. And what do you know? She finds a creepy house with graveyards, and inside it is Matt. But wait, oh Jesus, what the? Well, that's 2 dead for the first 15 minutes of the film, and as Johanna gets brutally murdered by those demonic monsters, Greg is constantly vomiting on every side of the boat that he can find. Meanwhile, Salisis presents a keychain of a cross for Cynthia as a way to ward off spirits. Well, perhaps this symbolic item might come back in the future under the most dire situations, and perhaps play an essential role to Cynthia or Salisis' character arc. No, it doesn't. As soon as they arrive at the island, Cook and Shelly begin to hide the boat from a possible incoming police search, while the passengers venture into the jungle in search of the party. Yet along the way, they see bubbling waters and shadowy figures. Well, does this remind me of something? Well, upon arriving to the party, there's no trace of any human beings, except for the collapse of multiple tents and infrastructures, possibly hinting of an attack. Good foreshadowing. While the rest chill and try to enjoy what was left behind, such as the majority of drinks that they tried drinking, Alicia raises concern of this peculiar event, asking for some volunteers to in search for some clues of the partygoers' whereabouts. Soon it's decided that Greg and Cynthia would stay behind for some fun, as the rest explore for the rest of the island. Yet as Greg goes in the toilet, Cynthia is suddenly surprised attacked by a group of demons and eventually taking her life. So that's just the one main character off the chopping block, while Alicia, Carmen, and Simon also find the same house where the couple was killed in. As they barge in, 3 survivors quickly reacted in fear. But soon Alicia recognizes a familiar friend of hers, the Red Shirt Man, and decide to cease fire. Here I present you 3 more characters: Rudy, the Red Shirt Man; Liberty, the girl wearing an American flag dress, and my god does that flag give me patriotic and liberty vibes. And finally there's Who, a know-it-all nerd. The 3 remaining survivors explain to the newcomers of a sudden ambush through the lens of a camera. Well, it turns out, by the time you already guessed it, it's called the House of the Dead, those monsters chewed and killed every being they saw. And with this understanding, all of them went back to warn Cynthia and Greg. And with a classic horror twist, the 2 are nowhere to be found until Simon and Ruby flips a toilet stall and finds Greg covered in poop. He barely explains what happened to him before undead Cynthia comes back from the back of the tent, attacking Hugh. Talk about the average smart guy getting killed as the first person in this new group. Well, as they struggle to take Cynthia down, a new foe appeared, shooting the brains out of this restless soul. And my oh my, of course, we definitely could have guessed it. It was the police officer, introducing herself as Casper and creating a plan to escape this hellhole. They just watched someone near them die. No emotions, no reactions.
Our best friend. Not anymore.
Oh, zombies soon appear on the water, heading straight for the captain. Here we see an epic montage of Kirk flexing his incredible usage of firearms, but slowly comes into realization that this ship was simply too dangerous to stay. The group finally arrive to the ship, now infested with zombies, but with no Kirk in sight. Here, Simon makes the insanely bright decision to swim towards the ship, right in front of the zombies. Yes, you heard that right. And back he goes, with his mate supporting him from the incoming zombies, with Liberty, questionably, also entering such dangerous territory. Seems like she hasn't learned a lesson yet. But fear not, for under the most dire situation, Captain Kirk comes into the rescue, into the scene too, saving poor Liberty from drowning. The final wave approaches, and the survivors unleash hell onto those final last zombies. Simon even smack talks to the undead, but in return he receives pure acidity, scarring his facial features forever. Really makes you question if that verbal assault was truly worth it. As the rest slowly recover and prepare for the worst, Casper, along with Greg, decides to explore the jungle for possible distress signals. And of course, here are the results.
Missing.
What about Greg, Casper? Where is he?
Yeah. I don't think he made it.
What do you mean?
And once again, no shed of tears from any of the party members, just some small acknowledgement from Casper. Oh, he died, that's all. Never mind human emotions, because now we need to suit up, and we need to prepare for war. Oh yeah, also, before I forget the seemingly random insert fact, Kirk speaks of a legend of a man.
Hundreds of years ago. His name was Castillo Sarmano.
Okay, it's time to get back to some non-stop action, for it is time to re-enter the same house that the couple was killed before, this time as a refuge. And my oh my, there are waves of zombie just here in the scene, just prepared to attack the survivors as the survivors attempt to enter the dang house. And while they're shooting zombies, perhaps it's time to explain the quirky conditions that I absolutely hate. As you might have noticed by now, it features a lot of gaming references from the video game, yet none can truly relate to how the film interprets the game as. Firstly, Yoel Bohr can go change the damn title of this film into Island of the Dead, since halfway in the movie the characters are barely confined within a house. And no, that refuge house doesn't count because that's a hideout instead of an arena where zombies are supposed to come in and fight. The scenery pales in comparison to the buildings in the video game installments, where claustrophobia closes the border between the zombies and the player, hence creating more tension rather than just some shooting range. and just put it into the Dead Island franchise, which is also, coincidentally, a better game fit for the location. But even that game has better voice lines than the people, than the actors over here. And since my crazy rant is over, let's get back to the plot. For it's time to question Rudy's inactivity in battle. And yes, he watches as Liberty is slowly taken down by a horde of zombies, yet he barely flinches, nor does anything to stop the event from occurring. But, less than a minute later, he comes into rescue as fast as possible. For who this time? When Casper's in danger. Like, excuse me, what? But then this rescue ends up doing absolutely nothing because he failed to save her moments later. And keep in mind, every single character is waiting to open the damn door. They're trying to get in the damn house without using their brain. Why not just kick or shoot the door open it? You know? Well, I guess what the director wanted is just to kill 2 more major characters. And after 10 minutes of constantly shooting, Rudy finally has the courage to open the door and let the rest inside the house. With Kirk leading, also having badly injured, but his leg is still intact compared to And as they explore the house of supplies, whilst the wounded lies on the table, they discover a secret laboratory full of undeads, but all asleep. Very creepy indeed. And finally, at this house, they have their breathing space, and finally, Rudy and Simon express their thoughts. Again, still lacking the emotions. Rudy feels useless in a way that he wasn't able to protect anybody, but, Alicia comforts him. Whereas Simon is distraught at his new look due to his battle-scarred face, but, karma's confronting him. Suddenly, a familiar whistle distracts old Rudy as he opens the door to find the undead Celeste. With Rudy's arms and legs bitten, a friend basically undead, and a withering hope as he's slowly crossing from the light between life and death. He decides to light up a dynamite and sacrifice himself with literally no thought. And it blows the damn doors down. It blows the damn door down, and now the undead also roam in the damn house now. But of course, we need another brilliant sacrifice, because sacrifices are very, very courageous. So Simon blows up the entirety of the house with some handy gunpowder he found in one room, while the rest escape from the trapdoor. And also the final two die. The final 2 are alive because Karma also dies inside the cave, inside the trapdoor. Now that the 2 ventured through the caves, they soon discovered Greg's face.
That's not Greg! Get away!
So, let me give you the simple explanation of what's going on. This monster, that I haven't showed throughout the entire movie, is a man from Kirk's tale. Yes, that one obscure tale that I told you. And he has immortality, and has been stalking the group for the entire movie. And, let's be honest, Rudy showcased his skillful logic in front of him with such a powerful line.
You created it all so you could be immortal. Why?
God, those actors don't know how to talk. Basically, of course, they reject this stupid offer of, giving up body parts, and decide to light an entire grenade and bomb the entire cave. Yes. And after that, bombing the entire cave, they are knocked unconscious, leading Alicia to getting heavily injured. But soon, they were able to take down this immortal creature down. A helicopter comes down and rescues them. Then ends with this classic movie scene where it gazes at the water and suddenly towards a city. After my explanation, because it is boring. The characters lack substance, they have no emotions. The entire movie lacked any variety of zombies compared to the games, which have different types of mechanic zombies, aliens, spiders, whatever the bunch. But no, they decided to keep it with the normal zombie, except for that random boss, that random man from lore stuff. And the only redeeming feature was perhaps the attack moves. But then if you think about it, how are all the characters able to masterfully use those firearms, into perfection? Really gives a question. Well, in conclusion, this film did dirty to the video game franchise, and hopefully the sequel can do better than the first. And yes, there is a sequel. I'm not even joking. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. And I hope you guys enjoy the content of here, and I'll see you tomorrow.